when you talk about the core wound of a severed sense of belonging, that really resonates to me. And so I get really triggered very easily by the trance of unworthiness, and I'm just easily triggered by feelings of rejection, or basically the fear that I'm going to end up alone somehow. Um, so, and I've come a long way, but it's like, and you've said before, the brain is like Velcro for negative experience and Teflon for positive. So it's like when I'm getting that negative confirmation bias from the outside world, how do I guess I have trouble, because it feels so bad inside. So I have trouble not associating that bad feeling with that I am bad, or there's something wrong with me, or there's something fatally flawed within me, that people flake out on me, or people don't act the way I want them to, or I expect them to.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to tell you, Steph, that just listening to you, I can tell how much you are kind of in resonance with some of the basic teachings. Like I can hear in your language that you get it. And don't underestimate how important that is. That that if you can see the trance of unworthiness, you can work it. But it takes time. And we're kind of unraveling knots that were, put in place way, way early and that are in our culture. So I'm inviting you into patience here.
Okay.
That just know that your path is undoing the trance of unworthiness and trusting who you really are. And let me ask you this. If you could look through the eyes of someone who you do trust and care about, that sees you pretty truly sees your goodness. Can you think of someone that you
Yeah.
trust their perspective? Tell me how they see you.
Just they see the goodness in me. They see the struggles that I've had to overcome. They see they see a strong but vulnerable person that just, that just has some self-doubt, that needs love for the self-doubt that kind of just is so easily triggered, I guess.
So they see that you're strong and you've got grit. I mean, you've been through stuff,
Yeah.
right? And they also see that you're vulnerable, that you've got a lot of sensitivity. And they see that self-doubt gets triggered easily and that you really need to have a way of responding in a loving way to yourself when it gets triggered.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else do they, I know it's a little hard and a little embarrassing, but what else do they see about your goodness? What are the qualities that somebody would really notice?
That I'm a loyal person, that I want true authentic connection with people, and that it hurts me so much when I feel like a lack of reciprocation. And it's like I have a few, not many, I have a few good friends in my life, but I've been trying to like work on being vulnerable and having more of a sense of belonging. So I've been putting myself out there more with people, and a few people have been like flaky, and it's like it makes me want to like shut down, and I really struggle with like, well, what's wrong with me? When I know I'm totally getting off your question here.
Yeah, you went from what people see that's good about you to how you react. Now, I think that's really useful to name. That helps me to know that you really are playing your edge. I mean, you're trying to build your sense of trust by playing your edge and being more vulnerable so you can be real, and that some people are not where they are doesn't match, so they don't respond in the way that helps you to feel safe or cared about.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen is that's if you have the courage to play the edge, it's going to happen that some people don't come through and you're going to get some pricks.
Right.
And the trick is, how much can you build your tolerance?
That's what I need to that's the core problem for me
Is
is
that, yeah, that you're not tolerant of when others don't respond in a way that helps you feel okay about yourself.
if I don't feel safe or I feel somehow like I'm not important or I'm forgotten, then that really makes me feel like, oh well, there must be something wrong with me.
Right. So that's the wound. The wound is a deep sense there's something wrong with me. And anytime somebody doesn't pay attention the way you need it, doesn't, respond, doesn't help you feel important or like you matter, it gets triggered. And by the way, that's, I would say, if we did a hand raise, most of us would say we have that deep vulnerability and none of us feel good with that. And so, yeah, we're all building our tolerance. And what builds the tolerance is if you can, in those moments, have a way of holding yourself. So
Right.
I want to, so what we'll do, and this will be kind of a meditation for all of us, for any one of us that has felt, knows what it's like to feel hurt and reactive and wounded when others don't help us feel, don't make us feel important, listen to, when we feel we're invisible, when we feel judged. Okay. And you're getting all sorts of messages saying, I know, I feel the same way. So that's part of it is as we do this, and you can let your attention go inward, Steph, and everybody. Just, you might begin by sensing there's a few hundred people here and that we all have that same vulnerability. We really want to feel cared about and respected and like we matter. And most of us have some wound where we weren't attended to in a way that helped us trust that we were fully lovable and acceptable. That's just so deep in so many of us. So let's be with it a bit. And you can, each of you, just choose your situation where you go into that self doubt, like maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe I don't deserve it if somebody's treating me this way. Just take a moment. You, Steph, have an example for yourself in mind, I'm sure, that's recent, that where you felt that. Okay. Yeah. So I'll speak to Steph, but this is for all of us to let that situation be in mind when you get triggered and when it brings up all the self-doubts. And go to write whatever the behavior with somebody else, whatever happened that really sent a message to you that made you feel bad. And this is the power of rain, is that it's mindfulness and self-compassion, that you begin mindfully just recognizing the R of rains, to recognize what's the strongest feeling you have in this moment that comes from that situation. And you can just scan inside and sense what's the most strong reaction you're having right now.
And just that I don't matter, that I'm forgotten, that I can just be treated.
Okay, so there's a belief, I don't matter, I can be forgotten. And what's the feeling that comes with that?
It it's like pain, like anxiety, it's fear, it's like a rage partially.
Yeah. So it's a fear, anxiety, rage. So let that cluster be there. So this is the cluster that comes up when you feel like you don't matter to someone. And for now, the allow is, don't push it away. Just let it be there. These are beliefs and feelings. They're like weather. They come and they're here. And many others right now are touching into similar clusters: anxiety, fear, a rage that feeling that you don't matter. So is it okay just to let it be there for the moment? Good. And if you investigate, just sense where if you're believing that you don't matter and there's all those feelings, where do you feel it most in your body?
In my gut, like right in my solar plexus.
Yeah, right. So let that be there and sense that you can breathe with that. And if it helps you to put one of your hands on your solar plexus, please do. And so breathe with it and just let that place, that vulnerable place, know that you're here, you're aware of it, you're feeling, you're paying attention. And just sense what else it wants you to know. There may be other feelings that come up, there may be different sensations, there may be another belief. But just listen right now. You're bearing witness.
Yeah, I think just the fear that I'm gonna be alone, that's the ultimate root of it.
So there's a fear that you're going to be alone, and that fear place has been there a long time, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. How long has it been there? How old were you when you started feeling?
Childhood, because I'm adopted, and then I had parents that well-meaning but emotionally neglected me. Couldn't
So
couldn't couldn't love what they saw, you know.
how old are you in
But
that place?
in that place, I'd say about 5, 6. I started to feel this sense of aloneness.
Yeah. So in some way, let that place that's in there that has been feeling aloneness and not really appreciated, not not accepted or loved for who she is. Just let her know that you're here, that you're aware. And again, you're witnessing with as much kindness as you can a very young place, and just sense if there's anything else that she wants to let you know.
She just wants to not be forgotten. She wants to be seen.
So that's her longing. Don't forget me. Please see me. So you might even hear those words. You might even say, mentally whisper them. Don't forget me. Please see me.
And then there's like this fear that comes up, like it's not enough for me to see her. It's like I need external validation, but it's like, but I know that that's not possible. Like I need to be able to give this to myself.
You might just let let that be okay. That young place wants external validation. You know, when we're in that young place, there is no mature self to hold us. So let that be okay. Just in some way, let that witness part of you say, okay, I get it. And just notice what happens.
Yeah, there's just a sense of letting go. Like that's okay.
Okay, so this is an important place for you, Steph, that this young part of you wants to feel seen and matter and not be forgotten, and wants to know that something beyond her, something bigger, something larger in the world cares and remembers. And so once again, just let your attention go inward and let her know that you really get that and that it's okay. It's natural.
Okay.
And see what else, if there's anything else that wants to be named or expressed.
I think that was good.
So staying inside right now, is there any sense for you of some larger source that you do turn to? It might be the natural world, it might be, a grandmother or a pet, or but you have other sources that do help you feel that you matter. Could be a spiritual figure.
Some of them are dead, but yes.
Dead counts. It really does, because the energy and truth of that being is still here in your consciousness. So who would you say? Who most helps you when you bring them to mind?
My grandmother.
Beautiful. And let's just take some time with your grandma, okay? And for all of you, as you do this, whatever larger source comes to mind, it could be a sense of the divine, of God, of Jesus, of Buddha, of Kuan Yin. It could be a formless spiritual essence. It could be a grandparent. It could be the love of this natural world that comes through everything. It could be a child. It doesn't matter. So taking your time again, Steph, inside, just call on her. In your own heart, whisper her name. And if you call on her with sincerity, you'll sense that there is some palpable presence. Call on her with the place in you that really longs to feel that connection, that you belong, that you're part of something. The part of you that's saying, please, may I belong? Please, may I trust that belonging? And just sense whatever you sense about her, like energetically, whatever image comes to mind, whatever you feel, and let it be there. Give yourself that gift of letting it be there, because this really matters. This is part of your path.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is real. This is real. Yeah. Take your time, dear. And welcome what comes up. Welcome it.
Yeah, she just really loved me. She just really loved me.
Yeah. Yeah. You know that. That's something your heart knows is true. And what's it like when you just let that love be here?
I feel okay. I feel like I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay is like a massively amazing word. It means a lot. Do you feel that right now? Can you sense the okayness when you feel her presence?
Yeah. Yeah. And like on Arwa said earlier, it's just having it be held in this space with you and all of you lovely, beautiful souls.
Well, you're getting so many people really get it and are with you, and you're with them. I mean, it's like there is a field of beings that do care and can see others and can see the goodness. So you have for you, it's really ideally a daily practice, where you take the time to be with whatever's here and call in what you need. Call on it because it's here. And I really think of it like whether it's your grandmother or imagining us here or what we call your own high self, it's the same thing. There's no real inside and outside. Emil really pointed to that so beautifully. It's like the rocks and the trees and the leaves and the birds. It's like it's all one. So, but we feel separate. So we have to start with that and call on the particulars. Okay. But
Okay.
if you do it daily, Steph, I mean, I'm not pushing you on practice, but
I
um,
do daily already, so I will continue.
beautiful, beautiful. You're on the track of, I mean, when I was your age, I was struggling with the trance of unworthiness daily. And it's, I no longer believe those beliefs. They still come up, oh, I'm failing, I'm doing something bad. You know, I just don't believe the thoughts. And that's what's going to change for you. You're not going to believe it. You're going to rest more in a larger truth, which is your goodness. It comes through, by the way, dear. What you said when you described how somebody else that could see you sees you, the strength, the courage, the grit, you're dedicated to realness. That's beautiful.
Well, thank you so much. I love you very much, and I'm so grateful for you and everything you do.
I'm glad we're together. Yeah, with all of us. Yeah. Blessings, dear.
Thank you.